Hello and welcome to Salford Now. It's 3:15. I'm Andrew Kananako.
And I'm Ruth Wielden. Here's what's coming up on today's programme.
We speak to a Salford student with a disability who was turned away from his 21st birthday meal.
A new report calls for hundreds of billions of pounds to be invested outside of London. What will this mean for Salford?
And it seems as though each day the litter continues to pile up here on our streets in Salford. What's the deal and what's being done to curb the problem? Now, a report is calling for £200 billion to be invested outside of London by the year 2070. It's been produced by Bob Kerslake, the former head of the civil service, and backed by politicians and experts from across the Northwest. Our reporter Molly Goodwin was at the event this morning that was hosted here at Media City.
I've waited all my political life for a report like this, and it's finally here.
The Mayor of Greater Manchester is under no illusion about how important today is. The 27 Commission's final report outlines the hundreds of billions needed to close the North-South divide.
If it doesn't work, the gap will grow wider. The gap between the spatial gap in this country, between London, the South East, and the rest of the country will grow wider. We won't see our economy grow, and we'll see divisions, I think, social divisions as well.
And highlighting those divisions is something that the report is trying to do, including massive inequalities in the job market.
If you want people to be able to move around in their careers and get jobs and stay in the North when they leave university or when they finish their education in further education, you're only going to do that if you can offer a labour market like London, where if you lose one job in any sector, you can usually find another job if you've got good skills and ambitious. The problem at the North at the moment is if you lose a job in Newcastle, you'd have to move house to Manchester to get another job in the North.
The report recommends ploughing money into disadvantaged towns, spending on roads and rail, and taking power away from London.
This is our moment. If we do what we do best, stick together and stay positive, a better future now is surely ours. Thank you very much.
A student with cerebral palsy has had his 21st birthday ruined after he was refused a table at TGI Fridays. Aaron Diskin was turned away from the restaurant at the Trafford Centre as they couldn't accommodate his wheelchair. He felt as though this would not happen to an able-bodied person. And with Aaron now, could I ask you what happened?
So basically, it was the beginning of my 21st birthday weekend, and we sorted out a big family meal to TGI Fridays, originally in Prestwich, but they had a gas leak. So as we were getting ready, they rang us up and asked us if we could go to the Trafford Centre. So we managed to redirect all of our family members to get to the Trafford Centre. And as we were about 10 minutes away from the Trafford Centre, we get another phone call saying that they've only just realised that they had a wheelchair in the booking on the table, and that the table wasn't for wheelchair access because it was upstairs.
So you were already on the way to the restaurant and they called you saying that they didn't realise?
Yeah, and that I couldn't get to the table because it had 3 steps and they had no lift in their establishment.
Oh, so how did that make you feel?
I just felt, obviously, it got my sort of something that should have been like a really, really nice time with my family, and obviously I had family from all over the place, so I had family coming from like Newcastle and family coming from like Bedfordshire. So something that should have been like a really nice occasion, and it's nice to get all my family together, just got really tarnished by something that really shouldn't be happening in 2020.
Oh, so what did you end up doing?
So basically, what we had to do is we had to just turn around and come back home because we couldn't get in anywhere at short notice that could house 26 people just like that. So in the end, we just decided to go back to my house and have a KFC with my family.
So you literally had a KFC for your 21st birthday. How does that make you feel? Because you do realise you turned up for an event expecting 26 people to be seated.
I mean, it's one of them really. I think they could have seated 25 able-bodied people, no problem. But as soon as they had one wheelchair user in the party, that means that everyone's night had to be ruined. And I genuinely feel like, I hope it takes me coming on here today and sharing this experience for TGIs to actually do something about it and maybe get a lift in their establishment in the future.
Yeah. So have you ever had an experience like this before?
Not to this extent, really. I've had places that have told me that, like for instance, I went to a nightclub in Salford once, and they told me that their lift wasn't working.
Which nightclub was that?
It was 42's, but their response was they was going to get like bouncers to come in and lift me up the steps instead.
It was going to get you to carry up the stairs because they didn't have a lift.
Yeah, which isn't great. So it's something that I've faced a couple of times. Obviously, it's never easy and it's never nice to be told you can't do something because they can't accommodate you. So I just hope that this can be the catalyst for change. And I do hope things change because I wouldn't want anyone else to go through what I've had to go through.
That's true. Well, I actually asked Natalie Snape, who worked for this TGI franchise last year, and just to see what she thought.
For myself personally, I didn't see or hear from other co-workers about things to do with disability access being a problem. Obviously, after reading what Aaron has said, obviously that it is upsetting that there isn't accessibility to the second level in TGI Fridays. However, we do normally just use that for overfill on our busiest days. That particular restaurant is incredibly busy because obviously it's in a shopping centre, and the downstairs is massive and the upstairs is only about a quarter of the size. So like I said, it is only really used for overfill, and therefore we don't have a lift up there. The toilets are up there, but we have a disabled toilet downstairs.
So what do you think of this?
I feel like, obviously, I understand that part of the restaurant doesn't get used on a frequent basis, but if that was the case, maybe they shouldn't have took the booking in the first place. You know what I mean? They knew 26 people were coming in their establishment. So at the end of the day, I feel like it was their problem to sort out regardless.
That's true, and TGIs have actually recently released a statement saying an investigation will be conducted into this incident. We are speaking directly to the customer surrounding the circumstances. Thank you so much, Aaron, for being with us today.
No problem.
And in other news, the City of Salford continues to suffer with the growing issue of litter. Over the past few months, there have been only 32% of litter recycled, with the contrast of the city's 50% target. Our reporter, Grace Baru, went out to investigate. Right. Okay. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties there. That's all from us today.
You can follow us on Twitter at Salford Now or visit our website for all the latest updates.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.